and gentlemen, this next bout is brought to you by our friends at Precision Home Solutions, specializing in remodeling bathrooms and kitchens, finishing basements and bars, as well as designing custom home living spaces to fit your needs. And now, making his way to the cage and fighting out of the red corner, it's Jimmy Miller.
All right, Jimmy Miller is 5'9", 144. This is the featherweight division, the smaller guys that we like to talk about how quick they are out of Tech MMA and Fitness Academy out of Christiansburg, Virginia, with a record of 1-1.
You know, I'll tell you what, though, these aren't that small featherweights. We've seen Jimmy before. He's pretty talented. He's a good kickboxer. And he's got a really interesting matchup here in Diallo, who's making his debut in MMA, but has got a very significant grappling pedigree. The other thing I'll tell you is that Tech MMA and Fitness Academy down in Christiansburg, they're a terrific gym. They were home to the UFC's Tony Gravely, who's been here with CageZilla in the past.
Yep.
And they run a really good shop. They know how to prepare for guys, and they specialize in being able to deal with the unique challenges that a guy like Diallo is going to present.
This matchup tonight was supposed to happen in CageZilla 65, but Miller had to pull out due to some medical issues. So this fight was supposed to happen, at the beginning of the year. And to see these guys finally get a chance to match up, I knew that they had been talking to each other, but Miller just ran into some situations. But he's been training as a kickboxer and BJJ for 3 years now, and these guys are finally getting to get this matchup is going to be pretty amazing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. You have two quality gyms here, Tech MMA and Fitness, as well as the Lab, and both guys that are really well sized for 145 pounds, which in the amateurs usually you got guys who are either like soft at 145 or too small and they're kind of going up,
sure,
or they're real lean and they might not have that background. But these guys are really well equipped. You could tell they're taking their weight cuts and their nutrition, seriously, and I think that's going to present a much more high level featherweight matchup than we might otherwise see for guys with this much experience.
All right, Chris Fuller, take it away.
And his opponent, making his way to the cage and fighting out of the blue corner, it's Diallo Braithwaite.
Braithwaite's 5'8", 143, 26 years of age, and as you can hear, the Lab travels well. Another fighter from the Lab tonight from Fredericksburg, Virginia. Extremely high-level grappler, and this should be a fun one to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been at the highest levels over there at the ADCC West Coast and East Coast trials, which, I could tell you my coach and teammate Scott Dance went there, and just to get to the second day was a tremendous challenge and a really significant achievement. And so often to get to that level of competition, you're really training with the very best grapplers in the world. It's almost like the Olympics for no-gi grappling. And to go out there and have success like Diallo has says something. And he's also done really well. He's just a purple belt, but I would tell you, in every way, he's going to feel much higher than that. He's going to feel like a black belt when he gets his hands on it.
And holds 39 grappling wins, right? Out of 36 of those wins, 36 of them were by submission. So he is no stranger to competition and being in this type of level. Well, now it's the bright lights, the crowds here, a little bit different when you start to get in here with the MMA event. But listen, this guy's not a rookie coming in here, even though his record is 0-0.
Yeah, striking is going to change the game. The wrestling is going to change the game a little bit. But if Jim gets, if he gets a little sloppy and he goes to the ground, he doesn't have his faculties about him, he could end up in trouble really quickly. And that's the danger with some of these high-level jiu-jitsu guys. However, like we talked about on the pre-fight show, if you want this to translate well, you got to be working your wrestling. You have to be working your striking. It's almost like you have to forget that you're this high-level jiu-jitsu player and then just let those capabilities and those skills enter into the fight when the right time happens, as opposed to forcing them.
And listen, losing to Sam Kilmer isn't a thing, right?
Yeah,
because Sam Kilmer beats everybody. Yeah. All right, let's throw it down to Chris Fuller. Chris.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds in the CageZilla Featherweight division. It is brought to you by our friends at Precision Home Solutions. Starting out, fighting out of the red corner, standing 5'9" and weighing in at 144 pounds, fighting out of Tech MMA and Fitness Academy with a record of 1 win and 1 defeat. It's Jimmy Miller!
Jimmy Miller, 5'9", 144, 31 years of age, out of Tech MMA.
And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, standing 5'8" and weighing in at 143 pounds, fighting out of the Lab, he is making his CageZilla debut. It's Diallo Braithwaite!
Braithwaite, 5'8", 143, fighting out of the Lab in Fredericksburg, Virginia.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds, and your referee is Victor Matamala.
Oh, nope, that's not right. It'll be Michael Dolman. Michael Dolman has jumped in there. He's like, you might. Michael Dolman might go over and get Chris Fuller. You see that?
Yeah, and I'll tell you.
Your referee is Michael Dolman.
You know,
they don't even look anything alike.
One of the most dangerous people in the building, too. Yeah. Not the guy I don't want to have a problem
with. There you go. Mess that up. There you go. See you in the parking lot. Here we go. Round number 1 as they touch gloves.
I like how Diallo immediately takes the center. Good grip right there. You see it already.
Yeah, just very strong. Miller, being those black trunks, he'll have the black gloves with the red tape. Diallo, excuse me, he'll have the black trunks, blue tape with the black gloves.
Although I think you're onto something with the nickname there. Good clinch work from Jim Miller. Although I love what I saw right there from Diallo. He immediately entered the clinch, avoided any unnecessary strikes, and now is pushing up against the cage where I could assume, yeah, right there, he's going to start working for angles here, try to isolate limbs, and get Jimmy to the ground up against that cage, which is going to present some opportunities for him.
Both of these guys being very good in BJJ, this is probably not going to, this is where you start worrying about the crowd losing, like being bored.
Well, the thing about Jimmy is he's got real good kickboxing, and Diallo, maybe he's got fantastic kickboxing. We just haven't seen it yet.
Right.
But right now he's staying attached, and he's got that over-underhook. They're both in that kind of neutral position, and if he wants to start to make some gains here, he's going to start to have to pummel his way in and offensively wrestle here.
Yeah, Jimmy now putting the pressure on Diallo as they push it back up. We were talking about that cheese grater up against that fence. Now Diallo is letting this happen. I'm shocked that he's not spinning out of there and trying to do something because those little blows aren't doing anything but making him tired.
Yeah, and you know, I think Jimmy might just be like, hey, I like this. I feel the difference here in capabilities. I think if I get you on your back, I'm going to have good success. I would tell you, oh, big shots there from Diallo. Jimmy was not ready for that, and that hurt him. Really good strikes there from Diallo. He lost his balance briefly, but he landed a couple really hard strikes.
Let's see if Diallo could take him down as he just really caught him right. Oh, there's a good shot from Diallo! Straight down on his back. The crowd is going crazy.
And this is what we were talking about. What's the offensive wrestling going to be like? But you got to be careful. As soon as he's working that ground and pound, he could just as easily start to isolate.
He is just laying hammers down. Let's see if Dolman stops it.
Jim did a good job there, creating some space with that butterfly hook. But Diallo is all over him. Look at that guard passing. He's going to try to, he's going to flatten out here. And he's got to be careful here. Jim, as he lifts those legs up, a guy like Diallo can take that and isolate it, and all of a sudden you're getting knee barred. Really good pressure here from Diallo. Jim's got to start exploding off the mat here. Knee on belly. And right now, as Diallo arches up to land that hammer fist, that's when Jim has got to explode backward. And that's it. Michael Dolman stops the fight. Really good win there from Diallo Braithwaite.
Wow. Diallo comes away with a big win tonight. He almost made it. Listen, I thought Jimmy Miller was doing a great job putting the pressure on Diallo and just making his statement by putting the pressure on him and keeping him clenched up there against the cage. But then that just push out and those rights and lefts coming out of that, and Diallo just really caught him, and that just went downhill from after that.
That was impressive. You know, he was at first we were kind of looking at a traditional clinch game, and then he creates that space, and he just starts landing the strikes, and it was just, you know, beautiful. It was beautiful work. Here's the finish, and you know he's got knee on belly. He's just able to keep that pressure and just land these really hard shots, which is just way too much. But even before that, when Diallo was able to kind of open up the fight, right? He was getting settled, working in the clinch. I thought Jim was doing a good job of fighting back and preventing some things and using his butterfly hooks and working underhooks and overhooks. And then out of nowhere, Diallo was like, cool, check this out. Created space and just started whipping combinations and really put it on Jim Miller. And that's just such a fantastic win for Diallo. And it's good to see that he really does have some pretty capable hands here. And, you know, that makes sense. You know, all the conjecture, right? The gym like the lab is not going to send a guy in one-dimensional, not going to send a guy in who can't wrestle offensively.
All right, looks like Michael Dolman has both fighters. Let's throw it down to Chris Fuller. Chris, take it away.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Michael Dolman has called a stop to the action 2 minutes and 37 seconds into the very first round. For your winner, by submission, out of the blue corner, it's Diallo Braithwaite.
Well, there you have it. Diallo comes away with a huge win tonight. Lots more to come here from CageZilla 68 from the from the Salisbury Center, from the Manassas Center, from the Salisbury Center here in Manassas, Virginia.